something that I've really niched down as I'm working with more empathic women who are wanting to create a big legacy, a big mission, get out there with their voice, but there's all these limiting beliefs and barriers that kind of hold them back behind the scenes. And so some common things that I've seen is like, you know, not wanting to outshine people or fear of what other people think. And I think that that plagues women a little bit more than men.
That's true. And what have you seen do, like, over the years? You've probably also been around some successful business people that have done well. What are some characteristics that you're like, okay, they have this usually? Is there something similar you've noticed?
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest things is when people are like, I'm not going to use my past to dictate where I'm going or what I want to do. And then I think another thing is just not listening to people around you, because normally when you're starting something new, as you probably know, with like this podcast or anything that you've created, is people think you're crazy at first. People are like, that's so stupid. And if you can kind of tune that out and like be a little delusional, that goes a really long way with entrepreneurship.
That's true. I was going to say, I get that way when I get really excited about an idea. I'm like, no one can tell me it's a bad idea. I'll like sell it to the moon. But then sometimes like I get really excited about something, and then sometimes when time goes by, I like start to second guess certain things. And I think that's something that happens to people, is maybe you start to second guess yourself. Am I good enough for this? And things like that. How do you overcome situations of self-doubt after you have an idea that maybe inspired you, but now you're like pulling back?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I think whenever something's really vulnerable or it's like our next level of visibility, that's usually where we second guess ourselves. So a lot of people can kind of like, you know, go for it at some point and create something. But I think when we're starting to self-doubt, it's usually something that we really deeply care about. It's something more vulnerable, more authentic to our soul. And so instead of seeing this as like, oh, this is bad, I'm not sure, we want to see this as like, oh, actually, this is something that I care more about. And this is an even deeper reason to pursue it versus letting that dictate the show.